as a record company, we've had great success this year with a band called Beatenberg. We've had a single that's been at #1 for 19 weeks and another single that's been at #1 for kind of 7 weeks. So there's kind of, for want of a better term, a hipster movement across a number of different cultures, you know, and there's almost like a broad youth culture that has embraced the band and that sound. You know, in the case of the big single was a collaboration, DJ Clock and Beatenberg, and I think together they crafted a sound that obviously a very broad swathe of South Africans enjoyed. There's a desire to embrace a new band or new bands that, you know, represent the zeitgeist, represent what is happening in South Africa at the moment. And I think certainly in the terms of the sounds that Clock created and the lyrics from Beatenberg, that without overtly saying that they live in South Africa, if you're listening to the lyrics, it could kind of only happen here, you know. But it's also got a sound that I think is exportable. And I guess that's what's happening on the pop front. Across the board, from, you know, Afrikaans music to house music, there are lots of, you know, very successful and exciting artists. I guess our role is to be at the forefront of that and hopefully have, you know, signed to us some of the most exciting and successful. I think there is a big misconception, and I imagine, you know, that they've either, you know, heard mythical stories or read books, etc., etc., and they've got that perception. The fact is that, you know, a record company is still the place where the greatest investment is made. I'm certainly not saying that an artist can't independently produce a great record, but the truth is you need some sort of sounding board. You need a bunch of people who are working with programmers at radio stations, with concert promoters, in the broader music sphere, who can give you feedback as to what is going to work and what's not going to work. And the other thing is that you have to have an organization that can market and represent your music, because, you know, if you're an independent artist, you have to go and deal with an iTunes or deal with a retailer. It's going to be quite a challenge. You know, retailers deal with us. We obviously have a vast catalogue. We have lots of frontline artists. We have both local and international. You know, we play a really important and significant role in marketing and promoting music. You know, we have teams of people who do that on a daily basis and are very skilled at doing that. We've made an investment in a recording studio, as you can see, a well kitted out studio. There's an opportunity for artists to engage with our teams and to get some sort of sounding board and some sort of input in order to make better records. If they've done their own recording and it's something that we like and we think, you know, is worthwhile, there may be an opportunity for us to say the record needs to be mastered again because, you know, the mastering is not, the final product is just not what it should be, so we've got to do the mastering. Then obviously, you know, there's the, you know, there'd be the contractual phase, so we would engage with the artists, develop a contract, sign an agreement, and then the next phase would be, you know, actually getting the record to radio, because radio is really, really significant, getting the record to press. You know, having people listen to it, write about it, making sure that the artist has exposure to opportunities for live performances. If the record is, you know, a sound that can work internationally, then obviously trying to get it out internationally. We have a team of A&R people. We'll have scouts checking out the clubs, checking out, you know, producers in their bedrooms, looking at YouTube, looking at, you know, all forms of social media, trying to find something. So we'll get approached on the one hand, and on the other hand, we'll go and seek out talent. And then I guess the first thing to do, and the reason that we built the studio, to get people into studio and spend some time with them, give them a couple of hours. We have an engineer that's here and see if they can produce anything that we feel could go anywhere. Give them input, and hopefully out of the process, either of them having recorded it themselves or the process of being in studio here, we find something that's workable. Once we find something that's workable, we will sign artists to agreements. Those agreements could be anything from a singles agreement, so simply getting a number of singles with options for albums, or if we absolutely believe in it and we think that it can really work, then signing them direct to an album deal. Obviously not every artist is successful, and that record companies are the #1 investor in music and talent in the world. We've seen our revenues decline because in South Africa, the decline of the physical market, iTunes is with us now, and certainly the great growth in the digital sector. Whether or not the digital growth is going to swiftly enough counter the decline in physical is the question. So artists need to realize that, and I'm sure they do, that not every record makes money. So therefore, from a record company point of view, our investment is not only in a particular artist, our investment is, across the board. And therefore, I think that it should be considered that, record companies take the vast majority of the risk. Because, if artists think about it again, you only have so many artists really making it. So many artists that don't make it, which is obviously the risk that we take.